Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yes. 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 That's all I'm gonna do is say yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wait a Minute Show. I am Jelani J.B. Bodie, and I am back once again. I know I've been missing for a little bit. We have been missing for a little bit, but it was for reasons, stuff happens, life happens. But regardless, push through. We back. We in the mix. And before I'd say we again, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, man, and make sure you following the show. It's real easy to do. Just click on the button, click it, and let's go. That's it. And so I said we, and I know it's been a second. He's back, running in the background. Big Mo is in the building. What up, Mo?
Did you miss me, JB? Just say you miss me, man. Just say you miss me. Come on.
But you got to say it like Varnell Hill. Did you miss me?
Did you miss me?
Yes, yes, yes.
What's up, JB?
I'm glad to have you back, sir. I'm glad to
It's
be,
good to be
back in the
back,
building
man.
with you.
Been a while.
Now I know the circumstances of your return is probably not ideal. We'll get into that in just a moment. But
Not at
yes,
all.
I am glad that you are back. And I'm sure everybody that's out there watching the show is glad that you're back as well. So good to have you back, man. It feels good.
Make me feel good. It make me feel good.
I'm trying. So we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into the NBA. We're gonna get into some college basketball. And speaking of the NBA, I got a plan. I got a plan that I'm gonna tell you about. But before we do that, I want to do some rapid fire. I got to keep Mo on his toes. So Mo, I need you to go split screen on me because I want to talk to you some real quick stuff before we jump into our first topic. So last year this time you was feeling real froggy, and I know it's a little bit different today. And I'm being careful. I'm being careful. I'm being considerate.
Me.
You're
Let me
back,
brace
but I
myself.
need
I'm
to
gonna pull my
check on
chair
you.
up some.
I need to check on you. I need to check on you. How are you feeling after the game last night?
Shocked.
Shocked.
I'm shocked.
Okay.
Let me explain though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, go ahead and let them know what you're talking about before we
Yeah. For
even
those who
just
don't
break it
know,
down.
Mo got on the South Carolina Gamecocks hat on. So we all know a big Gamecocks fan of the league back, and they caught an L, yesterday. In the championship game at least, but they caught an L to the UConn Huskies. And last year, this time, we were up, or he was up. Now we're a little down, but you said you're going to explain why you're shocked.
I'm shocked because they came out flat. They came out. I'm not
Mhm.
even gonna say flat. I don't think flat
Yeah.
is the perfect word. I think they never calmed down. They never settled down because
Mhm.
Connecticut. You knew what you're gonna get from them, right? They're gonna come out.
Yeah.
They're gonna be prepared. They got the coach to do that. They got the team to do that. They got the star player to do that. And they came out with a perfect game plan. They came out with the right energy. They came out. You could tell early on they wanted to be physical, right? But what shocked me was you went 4 quarters without settling down, without just really just pull it together. Let's calm down. And if you watch the tournament, the entire tournament, they were a second half team. And that scared me. I'm like, you can't do this down the stretch. You got to come in and you got to play for 4 quarters. And another reason why I'm shocked is because they never settled down, but the energy on the sideline from Dawn Staley did not help. I felt like she was just on 10 the whole time. It's like, if you don't relax, they're not going to relax because you don't have a team full of seniors. I mean, you got your juniors, you got your sophomores, but I mean, I think aside from Bree Hall and Samika, you're probably going to bring a lot of these girls back. And you're dealing with a young team, you're dealing with a young roster, and you've been here before. Calm down. Every time you looked over there, she was just wide open on 10, right? And I
Yeah.
felt like, I don't feel like it helped at all. But shout out to Connecticut, man. They came in and
Yeah.
man, because we had the looks. I mean,
Yeah.
you got all the looks in the paint that you wanted. You
Mhm.
got, some outside looks. Chloe Kitts, I don't know what she was doing. Take the shot. Take the shot. You got the shot, take the shot. At some point, somebody got to take over. And I don't feel
Yeah.
like we ever got that. So I was shocked to see how we lost. Not the
Yeah.
fact that we lost, but how we lost.
I just think it was UConn's year. I mean, because they play, they played back in February, and it was a similar game, and they did that on South Carolina's home court.
Hmm.
So, um, I just, it was just a year. But I will say, to lose in the championship game, I mean, next year, nobody's going to expect anything less than a Final Four appearance. So it's
Oh,
not
no
like it's
doubt.
all gloom and doom and it's over. And like you just said, those young ladies, that's freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, they're going to be sophomore, juniors, and seniors and everything. So they'll bounce back. But
They're gonna come
again,
back heavy.
I want to check on you. Other thing I want to talk to you about, Mo, and um, we don't talk about hockey at all, but
Mm,
I do understand when great stuff happens, and that just happened with Alex Ovechkin for the Washington Nationals. Is it Nationals? Is it Capitals? I'm thinking of the baseball team, but
Capitals.
Capitals. Uh, he went ahead and broke the great ones goal record, 895. Now
Hmm.
he's on top with the most goals. And here's what I do. I'm not going to act like I know anything about hockey, but what I do know is that anytime there's a record broken and it's followed by the previous record holder was Wayne Gretzky, the great one, you're doing something major, sir.
Oh, no doubt.
And you got the most goals in the in the league or in history. So I want to give props to Alex Ovechkin. He's widely respected across all sporting levels or sporting sports. But then also he had an opportunity, I think, to break the record on an empty netter, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." That way
Hmm.
out of respect for Wayne Gretzky. So props to him, man.
I'm
For
gonna tell you what's dope about that though.
mhm.
What's dope aside from how he just kind of slid in there to his teammates, but he got one more goal in the same exact amount of time. You know what I'm saying? As far as at this point in Wayne Gretzky's career, he's one more than him.
Yeah,
That one more. So I didn't explain that the way I wanted to, but you know what I'm talking about. I think that
yeah,
was dope. I thought that was super dope. So yeah, shout
yeah.
out to
They
him,
they
man.
kind of they kind of were in sync through
Yeah,
their careers.
right.
So
He got that
that's
edge on him by one.
crazy,
But he's
crazy,
still out
crazy.
there. So I mean,
Last
it's gonna
thing,
be fun.
last thing. Did you hear about your boy Brock Purdy?
No. What's up with Brock? What I
So
miss?
I was watching oh man, what is it? The RR, the guys with King Dunlap and Jalen Collins and it's raw. Why am I forgetting the podcast right now? And I apologize for it. But it's RR is real raw or something like that, the podcast with former football players.
I
But
think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
they were talking about Brock Purdy out there talking about he see the receiver um 60% of the time. The other 40, he's just throwing to a spot because his line is so big, so he can't
Hmm.
see over it. So 40% of some of the throws that he make is just throwing it to a spot. And they were talking about whether that was a smart, idea to say. And it was like, nah, you don't say that. Not, at least not until you get your money. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with them. Like Brock, there's no point in saying that right now. Now, I still think he's going to get his money. Some people, they felt maybe that might impact. It could, but I think the biggest thing I'm looking more of long run because if he struggles, it could be this year, it could be next year. This is going to come back. If he
No,
struggles,
no, no, no.
they're going to
Listen,
be
you know why he felt so comfortable saying that? He
why?
felt so
Tell me.
comfortable saying that because that's what Shanahan told him to do. He told him that, listen, it's common knowledge that that's what a lot of these quarterbacks do. That's what they do. I mean, you got the elite ones that they got chemistry with certain receivers. And then for the most part, they throw into a spot.
Well,
I
well,
mean,
well, wait. Let me. But he's saying he doesn't see the receiver. He's just saying That
You just
receiver
know
should
the
be
receiver's
there.
supposed to be there. Yeah, and they should. They
That's
should.
not.
Listen, he gonna get that money because he doing exactly what Shanahan told him to do. And we're not gonna get in. You know how I feel about Shanahan. We're not gonna go there. But I mean, listen, he gonna get his money because he following orders.
Okay.
That's what he told him.
All
That's what he told him to do. Put that ball right there, and you better be there. And if you're not
right.
there, we're gonna pay Brock and we're gonna trade you.
Okay.
And that's why we don't have a roster right now.
What?
So listen, they ain't even mad at him.
So Brock is gonna be good then. Mo said, "Don't worry about it." So
I ain't say it was gonna be good. He gonna get paid. He gonna be rich.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll
No,
see
I'm
what
saying
happens.
like he's good. Like, hey, don't worry about me. I'm good.
Oh yeah, he can
Yeah,
put that out there on the
yeah.
podcast.
Brock like I'm good.
I
All
bet he
right,
won't
now
say it in a press conference after a
if
game.
they start off 2-5, we're gonna come back to this, and I'm gonna see if you
Please
got
do.
to say
Please do. April 7th, the 20, whatever time it is, we loading it up. We loading it up. And
All right.
it's gonna be a blooper reel.
Yeah. So you may see that you're probably gonna see this after the fact, but it doesn't matter anyway. Appreciate you, Mo. Let's jump into the first thing, and that is the NCAA and men's basketball. We talked about the women, but the men's basketball is going to be the championship game, Florida versus Houston, and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and give my pick. I've been battling, with this kind of like what Mo was talking about, with South Carolina a little bit. Florida kind of had these, runs that they were going at the end of the game, not against Auburn. They kind of stayed in that game in that Final Four. But going against Houston and that defense, I just, it's anybody can win because I mean Florida could definitely win. I just got a feeling that Houston's defense is probably going to hinder them. I'm not going to say suffocate them or anything like that. Hinder them, and maybe that down the stretch portion. May so I'm just going to say Houston. We'll see it, if they win. But also the other thing is that we got a number one versus number one, but also we had a Final Four of all four top seeds. So I ask, was this March Madness one to remember? Was this March Madness a thud or or anything like that? Because we really didn't have that major upset. And I'm going to say no. I think March Madness was just as excellent as it was last year. I just think we got a different version of March Madness. Everybody, of course, you always now people brackets. I think that's probably the biggest thing. People brackets are going to be upset because they were betting on some of these upsets to happen, but they didn't happen the way we thought they would. But I do think that having all number ones in the Final Four was good for the game, was good for this season. We're gonna have a really good game. Again, whenever you see this, the game will probably be over. But we're gonna have a really good game. Between two teams. So I don't think we lost anything, this year. Now, I'm not saying that we need to go chalk every year and the top seeds, make it, but it doesn't hurt to have just this one time where somebody is like, all right, all four, top teams made it. That's kind of what we expected. And we expected, really good games. And so far, we have gotten excellent games in the Final Four against Duke and Houston and also Auburn and Florida. Those were really good games by both teams. So we should have a really good championship game. Let's move on. We're going to stay with basketball. And I'm going to touch base on what we got here. Yeah, the Warriors. Told him to come out and play. So once when Jimmy Butler showed up to the Golden State Warriors, we all know Draymond Green said championship, right? And so since he has been on this team, Golden State has been doing this. They've been, trending upward. Now, I said before, I wasn't shocked by this. What I pointed out was the teams that they were playing, adding a Jimmy Butler obviously boosts your team, and teams that they're playing, they're beating that they should be beating, but these teams are, 500 and below. They play the teams that they have to play. So I'm not taking that away from them. Getting into the playoffs, though, they sit at the 6th seed right now. Could they make a run and get to the NBA finals? And actually, could they win the championship? I think you have in the Western Conference that you're going to I think that you really have to put in there to say, I who I'm gonna put in the finals is between OKC, Denver, the Lakers, and I'm gonna say Golden State. Now, Golden State, uh, they're scary. I will say that. I'm changing my tune a little bit, on them, Mo, because if we can get the sample size we're getting in the regular season, if we get that in the playoffs, and I think and I believe, because you heard me say this before with Jimmy, because I've always felt like when he was in Miami and they went to the finals, I just felt he needed to be a little bit more selfish with the ball. And he was a little, he was too unselfish, for my liking. But with the team that he's around, he don't have to do that. We know Steph is gonna put it up, and Steph can do it quickly. Could they win the championship? Yes. Will they win the championship? I'm gonna say no. But I do think they can make a deep run into it. Uh-oh. Look
No,
like you got something to say.
you said no.
I said no.
So, all right, give me your teams again. Your
They're deadly.
Your Western Conference teams right now. Give me your teams again. We're gonna make this quick.
I said OKC,
Mm-hmm.
Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
Denver, Golden State.
Who's better prepared to win the championship out of those 4 teams? Come on, man. Listen, Golden State.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because when the playoffs start, we've seen teams. Dallas did it. Dallas got not last year, well, even last year, but the year before when they got to the Western Conference final. I think Dallas was the 7th seed. So it's possible. I'm just saying that you got this dynamic with the Lakers. Like, we don't know what we're going to get playoff Luka and LeBron. I think Denver is really dependent upon, Jamal Murray. He's hurt right now, and they're, reeling a little bit. OKC last year, I think they learned their lesson, that being a really good regular season team don't mean jack in the playoffs, and they were young. So I think you get a different OKC coming out of there as well.
I think OKC right now. You're looking at another Sacramento Kings team right now. I think they can and will get over that hump. I
Mhm.
feel like with Denver, you got too many questions around Jamal Murray. I think with the Lakers, and I'm biased, but with the Lakers, I feel like you're probably going to need another year with that chemistry gelling, and probably another piece.
Mhm.
But I think right now are we really still in the middle of a Golden State dynasty? I
No,
mean, no, you don't
but
think so?
no, but I will say nobody wants to play Golden State.
Nobody
I will
wants to play
definitely
Golden
say
State.
that.
Listen. You watched the Lakers beat OKC the other night. You're never going to see that again with all those 3-pointers coming from that team.
Right.
Defensively, we're not there yet. We're not ready. So I got Golden State in the finals. I got them in the finals, and when you get to the finals, anything can happen, man. And I don't really
Yeah.
I don't see it being a possibility for any other team in the Eastern Conference to get to the finals, except for the Boston Celtics. That being said, I love that matchup. I
A
love that matchup.
rematch.
I love that matchup, and I love Golden State's chances of getting it done.
That'll be a nice rematch. I will say
I
that.
see it happening. I see it happening,
I'm
but
not
we'll see.
and
We'll see.
let me be clear. I'm not rooting against Golden State because I have no horse in that race or anything. I'm glad my Pistons are in the playoffs after what happened last year, and we didn't get Wembanyama. Well, that's for another day.
Pistons gonna
But
be out of there quick. If the playoffs
yeah,
start today, y'all got the Knicks,
yeah, we'll
right?
we'll beat them. We'll beat them.
Y'all will beat the
Um,
Knicks. Okay, all
yeah,
right,
yeah, we'll beat them. We'll
all
beat
right.
them. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm just making a pick. But if Golden State gets there, like, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that I think there's some other teams that's in line to make that move before them.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, you know where my money going.
Yeah,
You know where my
and
money going, and I
hey,
think it's a safe bet.
I root for Draymond. He's a Michigan guy, so
Draymond got calmed down. Didn't he just get in some trouble?
I don't know.
I
Who
think he
knows?
just elbowed somebody the other day.
Just choke somebody out. Oh, speaking of trouble, why are you gonna segue me into that? Ja Morant. So Ja Morant, I know this is a little bit old, but this we couldn't get on here yet to talk about it, and I'll be quick, man. This is not gonna take long at all. Ja Morant gets fined 75,000 for the gesture, which could be interpreted as pointing a gun and all this stuff. And we already know the story, before when he gets suspended and why he got suspended and all this stuff. So here's what I'm going to say really about the John Morant. I'm done. I'm done because I just can't think like why you would think that would be a good idea to do after everything that you've been through. So I'm just like, bro, either he don't care or it's just he can't help himself. I don't know. But I'm done. I'm not going to try and figure it out. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, before I was like, hey, I'm hoping that, this, and I do hope, and I'm still not, I don't want anything, the guy to get in trouble or anything like that. I'm not, wishing anything like that on somebody. But at this point where you've gotten in trouble twice, it has to be registered that I'm not doing anything close to this because I don't want to give them a reason. So if it happens again, I'm all right, whatever. Who playing? Because at this point, they done fired the coach. Who knows what's going to happen with this team, going forward. Obviously, Ja be there, but I'm just like, it's over, bro. I'm done. I'm done. Do you, man? Do you? Last thing. I told you I had a thought process when it comes to the NBA, and I was about to go off because my Pistons, we were supposed to get Victor Wembanyama. All right. It just was supposed to happen, but it didn't. Spurs got him and all this whole draft thing. So we've been talking about NBA and tanking, right? Tanking. How can they fix it? How can we fix it? How can we make it better? And Mo, I'm going to tell you this, and you tell me, what you think about this. Here's my thought process on tanking,
I can't
or
wait to hear this.
trying to fix the tanking. So we already know, the worst record has the most ping pong balls or something like that, and it's you got the best chance. It's not like the NFL. But what I do want them to do, I do want them to adopt the NFL, but I want it to be in a reverse order. Follow me, sir.
Okay.
So to avoid tanking, we were just talking about uh teams that that's on the bubble, teams that didn't make the playoffs, and everything. So there's 16 teams that make the playoffs, right?
Okay.
My thought process is whoever is 17th, they get the first pick, and you work your way down that way.
Okay. Okay.
And you work your way down. Then you don't have these people out here not playing people, limiting people minutes, telling people don't shoot this, don't make these points, don't do this, don't do that. All that stuff that goes along with trying to position yourself for the best opportunity to get the number one overall pick. So you know what? Because you're not the worst team. So if you shouldn't get rewarded being the worst team if you're working to be the worst team. You get what I'm saying?
So how would it work in this regard? So you're looking at essentially the 11th seed, right? You got the Eastern Conference, you got the Western Conference, you got 9 and 10 because they get to play in, right?
Right.
So that's going to leave you with the 11th seed. In this case, right now, it's the Raptors in the East, and it would be the Suns in the West. So how do you determine who gets that first pick? Or am I misunderstanding what you're saying?
You can do it by record, or the NBA is changing what they do anyway. Then you could have a mini tournament after the
I got to
postseason.
play for it.
Yeah, post just one. There ain't no best of three or nothing like that. One. And you know what? The remaining teams, whoever win that one, because what's another week or two of NBA basketball that people are, will watch because you can slot them in the middle of the first round of the playoffs. And you watch these teams and say, hey, you know what? If you want it, win it. Win it.
I like that, JB. I actually like
So,
that idea. I was curious what you're gonna come up with, but I like that idea.
yeah,
Round of applause. I got to give you something for that. I got to give you something for that. Now,
thank you.
what would be fun is watching that shootout between those two teams. I think that'll be, just as long as they place it right, do it before
Yeah,
the playoffs. But okay, I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Maybe,
Sell it.
maybe, yeah. Maybe you could give them an extra few days in between before the playoff starts or something like that. And you take these teams and you will them down. And yeah, whoever wins, that tournament, or again, whoever maybe has the best record of I don't want to say losing, season, but whoever has the best record out of all the teams that did not make the playoff,
Hmm.
you start from there and you work your way down until people start playing the right way. Because you can change I mean, it's your league. You can change the rules anytime you want. So you can
Right.
change it back. Now, how would that look? Where you have a team who on the cusp of maybe doing something special, and then they get that number one overall pick.
Right.
Because you just said, like the Raptors, are there. Um, maybe that person they get, Cooper Flag or whoever else, maybe that elevates that team to now be one of those upper echelon teams or one of those teams that's up and coming. Because we've seen the other teams, Mo, we've seen the other teams that finish, and I'm not hating, but we've seen them finish 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Right.
And then next year, you 7, 8, 9, and 10 again. Or then the
Hmm.
next year, you 12, 13, 14. Like, so I'm just like, no one's paying attention to, it's just like, oh, uh, such and such was the worst team or whatever. So we're gonna keep an eye just as much as we're gonna keep an eye on the
Yeah.
team that was, 14. No, no, you're not watching either one of them, unless it's your team that gets the number one overall pick. Then of course you got some personal
Hmm.
vested interest, but
And
try it for a year or 2 or 3 years.
yeah, try it because
Eh,
the only question I would have is I know the players is no they're not pledging allegiance to any team. The NBA in the NBA, these players they all about the contracts and whatnot, and they understand it's a business. The incentive is more for the coaches. Can you rally your team up to what we need this pick? So let's do what we got to do. But
Yeah,
hey, it's bet to me it's better than the lottery pick. I ain't never like that.
yeah. Because I mean,
And I know you
you
still salty about the Wimby situation, but hey, listen. Hey, that situation got you over there thinking. You over there scheming up all kind of ideas.
some because
That's
it
funny.
it's going to, is I think it'll add a flavor into it. It'll
Hmm.
incentivize these players to play. It'll incentivize the coaches to coach and incentivize these teams to stop making as many business decisions
Right.
and play ball, a little bit more. Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
This is how you get, rewarded. Because we see people, they get to the end of the season or whatever, oh, such and such is being sat down for the rest of the season or whatever.
Mm.
And it may say, their hand or something like that. And don't get me wrong, they're hurt, but maybe they're not injured. And if a number one pick is on the line, that person may be like, you know what, I'm gonna finish these last 6 games because we got an
Yeah.
opportunity to get the number one overall pick.
Well, I tell you what, since you brainstorming right now and you
Mhm.
coming up, look like you got some good ideas and you figure out what we're gonna do about this 3 point situation. I'm tired of seeing these players jack up these threes. I'm
Hey,
tired of seeing team move the 3 point line back. Just move it
you
back.
know what? You know what? Someone said that, and I don't believe this. Someone said Adam Silver was looking at making a 4 point line, which I think that wouldn't be good.
No,
But
that'd be
what I
horrible.
what I what I have been um, watching these other players on these podcasts, they're telling the story, bro. Like, I think a lot of this is coming down to the analytics because you got guys that'll shoot that mid range and they telling them not to.
Mm.
And it's like, if you shoot that mid range, we're gonna bench you. And it's just like, well, I ain't got no choice. I gotta put up the three. So I don't think it's just all the players. Now, my problem is that I don't think every player that's putting up threes need to be putting up threes. Is my thing. I
That's
don't
my
got.
point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't shoot threes or whatever, but it's just with this, it's just like, well, if we put up 100, then because right now everybody trying to be the Boston Celtics because Boston
Hmm.
Celtics, that's their game, but they're making it work. So when you can make it work, that's different than when you're not making it work.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. I was watching Indiana, and I can't remember who they were playing a couple weeks ago, and I saw 17 threes go up in like what 3 minutes, and I don't know. I think I started watching. I started watching Lost or something. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It kills the game,
Yeah.
man. But hopefully they'll figure it out, man. Make the
Yeah.
NBA great again.
Yeah. And start
Something.
with that draft. Start with that draft. That'll change a lot of people's attitudes.
Go.
So, but
We'll
who
see.
am I? I'm just a guy with an online degree,
They watch the
but
podcast.
appreciate it, Mo. Hey, and appreciate y'all out there. So again, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications and everything. Follow your boy, put comments. Hey, if you think I'm crazy about my NBA idea, tell me that I'm crazy, right? Let's talk about it. Uh maybe you can give me a better idea. But until then, I'm gonna get on up out of here. For your man Jelani JB Bodie and Mo, we back. We will holler at y'all next time. Two things as always: stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.